Good morning, One Family.
Good morning.
We're welcoming even our guests to the One Family today. For sure, we're all one family, and we give thanks. Happy New Year! For many of you, I'm speaking for the first time since 2026. Happy New Year, everybody! Happy New Year! That don't like it. That don't happy. Let's all say Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
You know, 2026 is going to be a fabulous year for everyone. We're speaking into being, and more than that, we're putting it into action. And that action starts right now. We're going to be having our first panel discussion of the year, and we have a very esteemed panel. Now, when your panelists have such lengthy bios that you have to spend weeks trying to condense it, understand that the little nuggets that I'm going to tell you about these people, it doesn't even begin to describe them in full. We have a very distinguished set of persons sitting in front of you. And some of them you know well, but you probably take for granted. You don't understand just how absolutely extraordinary these individuals are. Because I had to condense it, allow me to read the bios of the persons who are sitting up here. We start with our moderator, Nancy. Anybody knows Nancy?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that? I can't read anything I write, but hopefully you'll look at me.
Nancy Sears, flying all the way in from Canada. She's a real estate international veteran with over 40 years experience. She's been a top realtor, managing broker owner, consultant, executive director, and she now serves as the CEO of Realty ONE Group Titans. That's our CEO, Nancy Sears. She's very passionate about the real estate business and is excited for her adventure into the Jamaican real estate market as one of the owners and CEO of our company. Please welcome Nancy Sears. We have two guest panelists today. Howard Johnson Jr. He This deserves big applause. A 10-page bio that one was. Howard Johnson Jr. is a registered real estate broker and CEO of Howard Johnson Realty Group. Boasting over 29 years of experience in the field, he's previously served as president of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, a director of the Real Estate Board, and a commissioner of the Commission of Strata Corporations, director at the National Association of Realtors, NAR, and he was instrumental in bringing the MLS multi-listing service to Jamaica. Our other guest panelist today, sitting beside him, the lovely Cadine Lawrence. You can share. Cadine is a luxury realtor and a certified luxury home specialist with a wealth of experience in residential, commercial, and income-generating properties. A former business owner and management consultant, Cadine joined the real estate industry in 2017 and has already been making waves. With a proven track record of selling properties quickly and above their market value, she brings a unique blend of expertise to Jamaica's real estate scene. Having worked with some of the top brokerages in Jamaica over the years, in addition to selling and renting, Cadine now trains agents in the sales and rentals process, as well as how to sharpen their negotiation skills and seal the deal. Welcome. Our very own, and we have three panelists from our very own family. Camelia Carter sits in the middle. With a decade of experience as a realtor associate, Camelia Carter has established herself as a leading real estate professional in Jamaica, specializing in the Middlesex parishes. She's dedicated to helping first-time buyers, seasoned investors, international clients, and the Jamaican diaspora navigate the property market with ease. Boasting a background in accounting and other entrepreneurial activities, Camelia is also a speaker and MC, as well as a philanthropist, the latter for which she was awarded by the Realtors Association of Jamaica in 2023. Welcome. And beside Camelia, we have one of the newest members of our One Family, Peter Gay Dilworth. Peter Gay is a top producing Jamaican real estate professional who is passionate about helping both local and overseas clients with their real estate needs. With a strong client-first approach and proven results, Peter Gay became the first Jamaican agent at Keller Williams Realty to rank amongst the top 100 globally for units sold in 2024 by bringing expertise, integrity, and commitment to every transaction. Whether buying, selling, or investing, she focuses on guiding clients with clarity and confidence every step of the way. Welcome. And a man who needs no introduction, our very own Andrew Duncan. Andrew Duncan is the managing director of Realty ONE Group Titans and Jamaica's #1 realtor for properties sold in the year 2022 to 23 and 2023 to 24. An international Hall of Famer, Andrew has consistently ranked as a top producing and top listing agent from 2018 to present, cementing his position as a leading figure in the market. With a strong banking background as a personal banking officer and a mortgage specialist, Andrew has earned numerous real estate awards both locally and internationally, with a stellar reputation as a trusted advisor in real estate and finance. Ladies and gentlemen, I hand over to Nancy so that she can get this panel discussion. A big round of applause for this thing.
Okay, thank you, Kamika. Let me get you over there. Okay, so we divided and conquered some of the questions, and we've picked 2 questions for each panelist. And then when we're finished with the questions, as I said, it's open discussion. And please kind of think of things that you want to ask them based on the questions. And as I said previously, this is a panel discussion about real estate in Jamaica, the way we're going to move forward. And so the first question is for Howard, since he's the closest to me. And the question is, as one of the veteran real estate practitioners in Jamaica, over the years, where have you seen the real estate industry step up? And where do you still think we have room to grow?
Okay, thank you so much for that, and good morning, everybody.
Morning.
First, before I answer the questions, I must say congratulations to the Realty ONE Group team. It's not easy for you to get to 1, you know. Some people 1 and done. You can't get to 2, you can't get to 5 unless you come back to Realty to 1.
Yes.
So what I did there, right?
Yes, I
I don't want you guys to be frowning when I'm speaking. I want you guys to feel like just to relax, alright? So the question about the business in real estate, you know, and the word veteran would probably age me, and I don't want that. So, but experience, that's the word. But I have seen over the years, I began in 1997, and the market then and the market now is totally different. One thing for sure is that the professionalism and the standards that we adhere to are being recognized. Before, you know, a lot of persons didn't pay credence to even license real estate, although we had some incidents after the hurricane where persons were trying to pretend like they were Realty ONE agents when they were not. But now we're paying attention to noting that persons are licensed. Because of several other statutes, we are now careful in how we navigate the business by taking good documentations. Kamika will tell you all about that. With the POCA information that you have to collect, the AML regime, terrorism, all of those things are now helping the industry. If you think about back in the days, or if you're old enough to remember back in the days, you'll hear a lot of horror stories about agents and what agents did and do and what they did from other person's clients, etc. But that has changed because we now have to be held responsible and we have to collect data, and that is no easy feat. You have to make sure that we document everything that we do so that it can stand up to scrutiny, because we're now, you know, being monitored elsewhere. Another thing is that we have market sophistication, and I think one of the reasons for that is because we're now exposed to international market. The term realtor has now seeped in significantly with over 1,700 agents, almost 1,800 agents. Every return is a realtor. So if you're selling anything close to real estate, a house or anything, then call you a realtor, whether you remember the association or not. That's seeped in. And that has brought some level of awareness, because we're not just selling to our next door neighbors or uncles and our aunts anymore. We're catering to international clientele who are experienced in the business and who have sought to invest in Jamaica. Jamaica is prime for the region and for the world. And we have positioned ourselves to be recognized as such. And I think we have done an awesome job in putting the brand Realtor up front so that person can understand and the market has adjusted accordingly. The product that is on the market as well has changed over the years. I remember some of the first starters, you saw certain designs, and now you're seeing some designs you barely can see. Brick and steel is now wood or glass. So they all the name them complex of it.
Yes.
Right? But the product has changed over the years, and that signals the adjustments that we're making to meet the needs of our clients, whether local or overseas, and the changing times. And I know we're going to discuss that a little later, but even some of the designs has to stand up to some level of scrutiny, and we have to be prepared for some of these perils that we are facing now, especially after Hurricane Melissa. So although we're getting sophisticated in the products that we offer and the diversity of those products is no more, the duplexes and stuff. You have something that is available for everyone. Back in the days when I started out, you sold a house and the first thing persons were thinking, how can I renovate this? How can I convert this to what I want? It's now easier to find something on the market that meets your taste and your desire off the bat, because no one product is the same anymore. And persons are diversifying. You have different communities that are isolated. You have mixed communities. People are thinking about, your location, how close you are to business and commute and all of those things. So I think those are some of the things that have impacted the market, and we have grown significantly over the years where that is concerned. Now, the other part of the business as to where can we grow, we still have a long way to go with ethics and consistency. And don't be fooled, you're not in a perfect industry. We still have individuals who come into our industry and seek to disrupt it because they don't understand, or they're just looking just from their eyes to their nose. Nothing beyond that. A transaction at a time. And I know that's no one in the group in the room at this moment. But some persons are still coming in. So we need to focus a little bit more on our ethics, because that sets us apart. It gives us the respect in the marketplace from investors or clients when they know that you are standing above board. So those are some of the things that we need to do a little bit better. And consumer education. Some of the ills that we have seen, or the effects that we have seen from the hurricane, is because a lot of persons were ill-advised. Ill-advised from many professionals as well. And I'm talking from just the very purchase to even the construct, the location of where they build. And as realtors, we have to see ourselves as advisors, not just for the negotiation, but for the long term. Because why a person never buy a house and build right, so they never know that this has to happen, they never know that the soil type never right, they never know this, and all of these things were coming back at the realtor. And let me tell you, after some person make a sale, they can't find the realtor after that. Who sold the property? I don't even know they're still in the business. I believe that I'm in this business as long as I am, because I am still serving some of the clients that I have served in 1997. And that comes with trust. And you can't just be looking at a transaction at a time. I always tell the story, my father, who passed away in 2023, solid man. Solid. He walked away from commissions just to make families comfortable in their home, because the debate was over a commission. And those families have come back and given him business way beyond what he could have earned from that one transaction. So when you see yourself serving your clients, don't look at them as a client to meet a target. Look at them as a friend, as a partner to go beyond into the years that you're going to be in the business. No longer just, the commission is there and done. Okay, nice meeting you. It's no, when their kids are graduating and need to find their first apartment, you are still there for them. So if we need to find ways to grow, I think we need to position ourselves to be able to educate our clients. And a lot of that comes with you yourself being educated. Do not ignore the AIBA.
Yes.
do not ignore the nuggets that are placed in WhatsApp group from time to time by your administrators. Because some of those things, when you put them together and in your own business practice, you realize how everything comes together. And that's what I believe has made me reached the level that I am now because I've always tried to learn from my predecessors and learn the changing of times and the changing of gods and adapting to it. So AI is here. AI. AI is here. Do not ignore it. Do not pretend like I'll catch up with that at some point in time because you'll be left behind. So how can we grow? By adapting to what is happening now, knowing what is coming in the future, and preparing for that. I think I'll rest my case.
Thank you, Howard. The next question we have for Howard is, what responsibility do agents have to help clients think beyond transactions toward preparedness, insurance literacy, and long-term property resilience?
As I alluded to earlier, we have to help to prepare our clients for the long term. Know that you are in your house, what's next? Because the transaction is just a point in time. Living in that space is going to be for as long as they choose. And you may or may not be there day one after the transaction was closed. It would be good if you are there even beyond. But if you're not there, they should be amply prepared, knowing what are some of the possibilities that will happen, what are some of the risks that I'm exposed to. I just got a nice property beachfront in White House in Westmoreland. I mean, nothing has happened in 18 years. But then 2025 came along and Melissa came and I was looking at the Caribbean Sea and now I have a better view because I have no walls. Right? But I wasn't warned that these are possibilities. So much so just even think about putting up some hurricane shutters or putting boulders by the sea so that I can break the wind. You know, some of those things, even considering renewing the insurance to replacement value, which is different from market value. Because if they don't even know the difference, they just met the requirements of the mortgage and they say, no, you have to take out insurance. Not knowing that, well, it may have been for 6 months or it may have been for the first year. When it expired, they didn't even call it back, but you didn't think of it, you just thought, well, I have the mortgage, so I'm good. But now you're devastated. What next? Did you give them the advice to prepare for these things, to know when the renewal dates are, to always try to get an idea as to what the replacement value looks like now, because block and steel and cement prices change. So when you see the stock market changing and you see on the news they're talking about cement gone up by X and Y, don't ignore it as I can't wait for the real estate news. Don't ignore it, because those things impact replacement value, because if you're demolished, you can't buy the cement at the price you did 10 years ago. Those things change. So from time to time, you need to refresh those things. So as agents, we have to put them in that space. And we have to also look at the long-term resilience. You see a lot of strata, a lot of apartments being built. Have we guided our clients as to the responsibilities they have for buying into a strata? Now I can tell you, I spend probably 18 hours of my day dealing with property management. And too often I hear the story, I pay from a place I didn't know I had to pay maintenance. Or I paid the maintenance, I never know so it was going up. The sales agreement said $25,000 or $30,000. Where you get $60,000 from? Where that come from? I didn't hear about assess. Assess to do what? Right? Insurance. We already have insurance. You get it from BNS. Wow. Now you have to talk about insurance for the common area. Then now you're looking at barely qualifying to pay back $150,000 a month for your mortgage, but now you're looking at an additional $100,000 in expense over another 6 months for assess to repair a wall, a roof, or this or that. Did you prepare clients, or were they just astonished by how you described the Chinese pictures and how open the place looked and the concept of the design? Because did you know that a lot of these designs, when your buyers come in, they're wowed by the look and feel. And when the first bulb blow, you say, "Oh, I'm gonna get a bulb." You can't get a bulb. You have to get a fixture.
Yes.
And then the fixture don't look like the other fixtures, and then the other fixtures bulb don't blow. What do? Right? These are things that people have to consider for the long term and prepare for some of these things that are coming up. And I believe as realtors, it would be remiss of us not to prepare our clients for some of these things. And I speak specifically of gated communities and strata, because that is the way the land bank is dwindling. And persons are now capitalizing and building high-rise buildings, and that's what we're selling now. If there are 40 units in a complex, I'm sure Realty ONE selling 15 of them, at least, right? 50. So you have to prep your clients for the long term, because after you put them sign all sold out, and then there are challenges within that unit, they're gonna say, my realtor didn't even warn me, they didn't even tell me this. I recall my mentor, Batterly, God rest her soul, she told me that when you're selling a property in some certain places, make sure you show your clients the property in the day, and also in the night. In the night, you will see the big truck that park up on the lawn that you didn't see in the day because they were busy towing other vehicles. In the night, you don't see the parking catastrophe in the parking lot in a complex. When it rains, I would quickly call the owner, can I see the property? I know it raining. Can I just my client that they don't even care what it is? Because that's where you see if there are leaks. If you had a suspicion about the roof, when it rains, before the closing comes, can just ask, I just want to know where I can put my furniture, and I'm going on there tomorrow. Can I just get a quick peek? And you just walk around. Because you may see mold, you may see water impressions. That will now give you an idea. So as realtors, we can't just look at the 5 or 10 or 8% commission. We have to look beyond that, because the next commission is hinged on how you prepare your clients. And I will tell you, your best business card, if there's nothing else, your best business card is your client. I can't tell you when I was a print business cards. I have them digitally known as an excuse from COVID. But I don't have hands to take on another client that is new, because I'm already spending time nurturing and developing clients that I've served. I just bought this, I need another commercial space. By the way, my daughter getting married, you can find something for them. Then I'm starting up busy, knowing the storage, and all these are real estate transactions. And I'm just there for them. If a day them come and I'm not there, then we come to here. They're going to I've already I don't want Andrew to be on it for 24, 25 and he'll want to set up everything. So the long and short is that you have to prepare your clients for the long term, because preparing them for the transaction is one thing, but after that, your success and their comfort, the rest is how well you prepare them for that.
Thank you, Howard. Cadine, how are you, honey?
Good.
Okay, so your question is, how has Hurricane Melissa shifted the kinds of questions clients are asking? And how should agents adapt the way we advise, educate, and protect them moving forward?
All right. Thank you for inviting me, Realty ONE fellow agents. Thanks for having me here. So, Howard covered most of the So seeing that I have an appointment coming up, I'm just gonna say thanks for having me. Okay, so as it relates to Hurricane Melissa, which changed the narrative just like that within a few hours. And I live on the North Coast. I just relocated to St. Anne from Montego Bay. And it was horrible. The most horrible experience. I was around during Gilbert. I was probably 12, 13 during Gilbert. So, but this was horrible. But Jamaica is not just the North Coast. Jamaica is the South, which was damaged as well, and the Eastern Coast. And I tell you something, most people from the Eastern Coast didn't even remember that we suffered. And there's no power. I just got power 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And there's still internet issues. So living along the coast, it's completely different. And so Melissa changed the whole narrative. It's no longer where it's safe. Which area is now seen as a flood-prone area. Because even Montego Bay, we had no idea. When was the last time you went to Montego Bay? You see all the blue tarpaulins? Yeah. There's so much. It's unbelievable. I am sure people had no idea that Montego Bay would look the way it's looking now. Most people, they were thinking Westmoreland. Westmoreland is going to get wiped out because it's relatively, most of it is flat. And a part of it, you do have the hilly terrain. So people, they were expecting that, these areas with the informal settlement, these houses will be blown away, blah, blah. But coming to Montego Bay and going to Ironshore, and Ironshore is one of the residential pockets in Montego Bay. People, they have no words at all. So Melissa changed everything. Now, I just did an open house in Kingston, and believe it or not, every single one, I had about 40 people passing through the open house, and every single one of them, their first question was the flooding that happened in Kingston the other day. How did the water affect this area? Mark, you are a North Coast agent, but I'm from Kingston, so I'm familiar with most of the area. But with all the developments, I realized that one little rain in Kingston and the entire place is flooded. So instead of the aesthetics, instead of the square building, instead of the glass, instead of the bathroom, the double vanity, all these excitement that people would ask about. No, they're not asking. Cadine, the flooding that happened the other day didn't affect this area. And they were looking at the windows.
Yeah.
Is there any storm shutters here? They were looking at every corner of the building. They walked around. Usually, when I do a showing, I don't rush through. I allow people to walk through the property and not just the building, so it's not an in and out. And I don't allow clients to just walk through without me. I show, regardless of where the property is. St. Mary, wherever, I'm there, I show. Because as I pointed out earlier, it's not just about the daytime showing. So I am going to show them further up the road. I'm going to show them to the backside of the property. Even next door, if I can get next door, I'm going to go over there. So now they want to walk all the way up the street. They're now checking the drains to see, if it is clogged. They want to see if there is a culvert nearby. They want to see if there is a gully. I was surprised the client asked me, how far is the Sandy Gully Bridge? from this property, how far is the Sandy Gully Bridge? In my mind, because I was dropped in different areas, the Sandy Gully Bridge, have to do with the property. But then I realized the trend. Everybody, they were so paranoid is the word. But it's a matter of being prepared. That's all. Pointed out. So how we guide buyers now and even sellers is very important. And as you pointed out earlier, it's not about the in and out, right? It's about being there with the client, educating them. And this is going to push you further in your real estate practice. It's not just hitting the numbers. It's about building relationships. Right? So it's very important as of today, your next showing, make sure you walk through properly with the client. You want to ask all the right questions as it relates to maintenance, insurance, very important. You're going to arm yourself with knowledge, data. Very important. So today you're not just going to talk about price, and it's a 4-bedroom, 5-bathroom apartment or bungalow. That's not where we're going next. You're going to arm yourself with knowledge about the area, knowledge about the construction, knowledge about the age of the property, because these are questions that buyers are now asking. How old is the building? Where is the manholes? Where are they located? And believe me, they want to see the manholes, They want to see if they're cupboard. They want to see how far it is. If it's a ground floor unit, they want to see if water is going to get in on them. So you're going to have to spend more time with your buyers going forward and educate them. Arm yourself with knowledge first. You see Mr. Howard here? When I just got into real estate, believe it or not, I don't know if you remember, I messaged you. Hey boss, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So I had about 3 older and I would pull on them. So pull on more experienced agents. Nothing is wrong with knowledge. There's always AI, right? There's always the MLS, my friend. My best friend is the MLS. And this is why I can sell in any area, any pocket in Kingston, Montego Bay, Trelawney, it doesn't matter where I can sell because the MLS is my best friend. And I am not afraid to pick up the phone and call agents and ask them about the property, ask them about the developer. Did they do well in their last development? Is there any leakings? Is there any moisture locked in the building? So arm yourself with knowledge so that you can better inform your buyers so they feel comfortable in making their decision in buying post Melissa.
Thank you, Cadine. We have no more questions. More question. For agents working with buyers right now, how do we balance optimism about Jamaica's future with honest conversation about risk, climate realities, and smart location choices? You covered a little bit on that, but I'd like to focus on how do we balance the optimism, because I think that's really important to have that optimism in the market, because we've had a lot of kind of tragic news, kind of bad news since, October, the end of October. So how do we balance that? How do we create optimism and create that passion for people who want to invest in Jamaica, whether it's, like you said, local or diaspora or whoever's coming? So do you have a bit of an answer for that for us?
Sure. All right. So your ammunition for balancing is going to be true. Armed with knowledge, you can only balance a transaction by being honest and truthful. That's my foundation. Honesty, being truthful. And with that, your clients can make informed decisions. You're not going to make the decision for them. You're going to guide them. In order to guide your clients, you have to be knowledgeable of the market. And there's no safe area or safe location or safe parish anymore. It's all about the preparedness of the homeowner. How they prepare the property after Melissa, because you can have a category 7. Who knows? Anything can happen. You know what I mean? It could be a fire, just like California. So it's not just a hurricane, it could be anything. So you have to be honest with your clients. Know the area, but you cannot know unless you study the area. That's the only way to balance, by being honest. And you will never be honest if you don't know. So be knowledgeable. Alright? Call Mr. Johnson, right? Call him up. You tell him. But call him up so that you can lean on his experience, and so you're able to better guide, not push, not force your clients. And you don't just say, hey, take this, yeah man, hurry up and let's close the deal and you go and go to business. That's not how you do That's not what you serve. It's more relational than transactional. And if you don't remember anything else today, remember real estate is relational more than it is transactional. Yes, hitting the numbers are very good, but what does your reputation say? Right? So you have to be honest with your clients. And you can only guide them with data. Remember, use up the MLS, right? Get as much information and read a lot and pull on Mr. Johnson. Discuss flooding with your discuss. Isn't it Newton Johnson?
Yes.
Oh,
We would like to become
you know,
Mr. Johnson. No,
you don't want to see a cool. I promise you. I won't call you Mr. Johnson again. Okay, Mr. Johnson.
You can call that Johnson. It's one beside one beside you.
No. The next truth is you're going to discuss with them insurance. I don't know anything much about insurance, but you encourage them. You don't know, you just don't. Right? Ask them about pricing and all these different things and staging. Yeah, they don't ask me about the insurance. But you let them know it's important to get their property insured. And the replacement cost is very important. Yes, this met the value 20 years ago for $13 million. And as you know, in Jamaica, the real estate, the value is always up, going to the north, right? But if you don't get your property reinsured, then, like for most people now in Montego Bay, I can speak about Montego Bay. Most of my inventory is along that side. By the way, most of them, they're like gone. My inventory pipeline is almost empty, right? So when you talk to most of them, they purchased the property 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and the property was valued for $13 million. With all the upgrades, and they're happy paying the insurance on the $30 million. But today, 2025, the property is now valued at $150 million. But they're still paying the insurance on $30 million. Now, as I said, I'm not an insurance advisor. I'm not an insurance. No, I'm going to have to raise up my English. Right, so 10 years later, the property value is $150 million. So I don't know how that. But you have to be honest with your clients and let them know. Remember, you don't just pull them in, show them, buy, and you start calculating your commission. It's far more than that, you know. So discuss insurance with them. Discuss the potential flooding, depending on the area. No area is safe right now, and we all thought Kingston was safe until the flooding the other day, right? And you want to make sure you empower your buyers with knowledge. And remember, if you don't remember anything else today, real estate is relational more than it is transactional. And for anything relationship, it takes time, it takes knowledge. Even if you don't have the experience, lean on the older folks. The ones with the knowledge and the experience. And remember, build your business on truth. Right? Arm yourself with knowledge. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to Camelia. Your question is, in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, what have you learned, professionally and personally, about resilience, service, and the role agents play in times of uncertainty?
first of all, hi everyone.
Hi.
Y'all are okay. My senior. Oh, sorry. Come on. We haven't seen each other in decades. So I know the chocolate on the table is mine.
No, it's mine.
We're gonna share, right? We're gonna share. We're gonna share.
Depending on what you're going to show.
The chocolate. And knowledge. Real estate knowledge. Alright, so personally, Hurricane Melissa. Where I was located, I wasn't affected much, just a little leaking. But it reminded me of something that Beryl taught me first. So Beryl showed me what was coming, kind of gave us a little hint of what was coming on the real estate side. Because none of my clients' property was affected, thank God, nor the sales affected with Melissa, but with Beryl, one of the listings fell off or blew up. And what that reminded me when Melissa came was that agents are usually the first line of contact for our clients. During the hurricane, clients were calling me, how is it on that side? You think my property is going to stare up? What is happening? How it stays out there? Send some pictures, send videos. Wow. I'm in the hurricane. I'm why are you asking me about the property at this moment? But then I understood. That this is their investment. This is not just a home. This is something that they may have purchased because they want it to make money. And we have to understand our part in this now. We're not just the transaction or we're the transaction. We're now here experiencing it, and they want to know from our point of view where to go next. What do I do? Can you look at the property after the hurricane? What is the next move? How is the sale going? Do we need to pull out? What should we do? So they're going to look to us, so we have to be calm and collected. And even for agents, because I do know of agents who were in the areas that were hardest hit, and while they're going through their issues, they had to be calm for their clients. They had to be, okay, this is what we're going to do. But inside, and looking at their circumstances, they probably were panicking, but they had to be calm for the clients. So we had to show up, and Melissa reminded me that we have to show up in ways that we probably weren't used to. They have to draw what's inside for our clients because they are relying on us. And personally for me, it showed me how fickle everything is. It can be gone in a moment. The coastline thing. When I went outside, when I went to country, I was like, oh wow, I don't have to deal with everywhere. It's gone. The farm, gone. I'm like, okay. Yep, replanting time. So it taught me personally that in the blink of an eye, your investment can go. It may not have been fire, but it's something devastating just the same. And we have to help our clients to prepare for that. And personally, I guess with real estate and my personal opinions are the same because we're tied at the hips now. After being in the business so long, real estate is everything. So I have to be the first point of contact for the clients. I have to be the first point of contact for myself too. And the more I arm myself with what's happening locally, I can help my clients whether locally and overseas. So being calm, communicating clearly and precisely. Don't give them too much information. They don't go around and just guide them like that. Like, oh, your mother, your father, your cousin. Just talking to them just like how you would with your family members.
So can you call your senior?
Sorry?
Can you call your senior?
Listen, I'm aging gracefully. But I'm senior. My throat starts to get dry. chocolate. It has to be something sweet.
We got you, but we got you up. We see you on.
No, it's chocolate right
Come on,
here.
Let's stick to one.
It says eat about chocolate, that you get piece of the chocolate.
So I just wanted to add something to that. I was really interested in being in Canada watching all of this hurricane unfold. And I can't tell you how many people reached out to me and said, you know, is it as bad as it looks on TV, right? Because we only have the visions of TV. And when I said to them, 40% of the GDP was wiped out in about 3 hours, they all went, what? So it's interesting to see the perspectives we have from other countries. And then the next question is, you know, what do you think is going to happen? You know, I've had a lot of friends say, well, I was going to plan to come to Jamaica, but I don't know if I should come now. And I've been encouraging them all to come because I said, the destruction, we need to have revenue. We need to the hotels, a lot of them are open and a lot of rebuilt. But without the revenue, it's going to take a lot of time. We have a lot of funds that were sorted out for development, for rebuild. But that's only going to be for rebuild. That's not for, continuing to increase the revenue. So, I'm really happy to see, and I was saying to somebody this morning, that we're seeing a lot of TikTok videos, a lot of Facebook videos, a lot of Instagram of people in Jamaica saying, hey, come back, it's fantastic. We have, there's nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. And, it says a lot. Peer-to-peer sharing like we're doing here today is what resonates with most of us, because the government can say what the government can say, and the ads can say what the ads can say, but not always does everybody believe that that's the truth. I mean, have somebody doing a video. So I just wanted to share a little bit about how it was from the Canadian perspective, because, first of all, it was devastating to watch. And secondly, they really didn't have a concept. And when I put it in perspective for them, they realized how, and one of the questions that they said was how long it's going to take to rebuild. I said, well, we don't know that. Jamaica is not going to look the same as it did before Melissa. But I wanted to say one thing. Out of tragedy comes opportunity. And that's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. We're going to have lots of opportunities over the next 2 to 3 years, and we want to be in the forefront of that. Yep. So that's on what's happening, but I just wanted to comment on what Camilla was saying. The next question we have is, when clients are anxious, at any time, when they're anxious and if they've been displaced or rebuilding, how can agents show up with both competency and compassion without burning themselves out in the process? And if you remember some of the conversations we had early on, right after Melissa, I was very concerned about you guys burning yourselves out too, because it was almost like a land divided. Right? You had what was going on in Kingston, and then you had what was going on everywhere else. And there was a lot of guilt attached to what was happening. We didn't get affected, but we all knew somebody that did. So there was a lot of that. So how can we prevent some of that, or how can we help with some of that?
Yeah.
Somebody got the orange juice, please.
I got chocolate.
I got chocolate. Oh.
Yeah.
Switch it.
My eyes were at my knee, so it has to come from what? It's a personal thing that we're going to talk about. So, one of the things for that question, thank you for that question, by the way, we have to have structure and boundaries so that we ourselves as agents don't get burnout. So the first thing, how we used to operate before Melissa as agents, that's not how we're going to operate now. The questions, as Cadine mentioned, our clients are asking more questions, more detailed questions, and now we have to be mentally prepared and have that boundary there, because especially if you're an agent who has multiple new clients And some of them are investors, some of them want the gated community. The questions are going to come, and they're just going to keep coming. Once you answer one, they're going to send 5 more. So systems. Sometimes it's good to have auto replies. So you know the questions that have been coming now. So you just have some questions somewhere, some answers somewhere, so you can set. Yes, you're going to personalize it, but no, you're just going to copy and paste. Yes, I know that's how copy and paste from one client to the next. So you yourself don't burn out, because if you are burned out, you cannot serve. You cannot emotionally serve anyone. So systems and structure. So you said maybe you probably start looking at Excel sheets, Google Sheets now to capture what was last sent to a client, so you can forward that to the next clients coming in. Another thing that we should bear in mind as well is we want to be compassionate, but we have to be compassionate to a point. Not too much where you overexert yourself, because it all comes back down to you as an agent. So helping the client know the client emotional needs, you yourself have to be compassionate to yourself to serve them compassionately and relate to them as well. So the systems and the structure, that's a thing for me. I cannot do anything without my structure and my systems in place. And it has been working over the years. So I don't see myself deviating. I will change how some of those systems work because of Melissa and what we're seeing happening locally, and the questions, especially for investments. Persons who are looking to go into not just the gated now, but farming areas, warehouse, all of that. You now have to look at how you share the information with them without getting emotional about certain things and certain areas, and even what was said before. As Nancy mentioned, I had a client, we were looking at something before they came to Jamaica. When they came to Jamaica and saw the area, of course, that deal was out the door, because yes, they saw videos, but then when they came and they saw what happened, they don't want to go there anymore. And we will have a lot like this, but inventory has to move. So we can't be emotional about this area, yes, this happened, that happened, but we will rebuild, and we have to table how we work times like that. Not just focusing on what happened, the devastation, but guiding them with our systems again, showing the data and MLS. Mr. Johnson, thank you. MLS is, yes, our best friend in this industry. So as often as you can, to go back to MLS, even in post-Melissa era, going back to MLS, showing what something was before and what do things to your client, and also to curtail their emotions around a certain area now that the devastation is there, to move forward. So just reiterating, structure and systems. That's how we are going to make it work for both ourselves and our clients emotionally and compassionately.
Thank you. A very good answer. And you're not. Okay. Bring me your thoughts. So, he's a gay. I always call him Pata-gay. And I keep telling him, it's Pita-gay. Did I get it right? Oh, yeah, awesome. So, you're up next, and your first question is, in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa and COVID before that, it's amazing. COVID was only, it's going into the 6th year now, but we seem to have short memories when it comes to COVID, and it was it's almost as devastating as Melissa was. What lessons have you learned about supporting clients who feel overwhelmed by decisions in front of them? So what lessons have you learned? I mean, Camelia speaks about, systems and staying calm and being compassionate, but making sure that you look after yourself. But in your case, from your perspective, what lessons have you learned about supporting your clients?
Thank you for that question, Nancy. So for me, one thing I've learned is that clients do need clarity before making any decisions at all. So, as my fellow colleague would have mentioned, because after did I just say during, after Melissa and COVID, many of them were left overwhelmed, not just financially but also emotionally, just like everyone else. And right there, myself have to shift from being transactional to giving them guidance, and everything slows down right there because now we have to start breaking down decisions into smaller step, manageable step, so that things can move forward. And even if we don't have an immediate answer at the time of when we do answers, I think we all should be transparent and intentional about what we do. And for example, like after Melissa, I do have this client currently in Ocherius. He's overseas, but he's purchasing a commercial property in Ocherius, and the first thing he asked was like, PDG, who's going to be responsible for the damages? And will he be getting the same price like what we discussed before? So all of these questions he had, and of course, when I let him knowledge I know about all of that, I had to share it with him and let him know that, things, well, it's not your property as yet, so the owner is still the owner's responsibility and things like that. So he was able to move forward confidently, and now we're almost at closing.
Thank you for that. We have one more question. And I think this is a great question. It says, in moments like this, community matters more than competition. What are practical ways agents can collaborate to share resources, information, and support, especially after a natural disaster? So, it's like, we all compete with each other, but we can be friendly competition. And I think that collaboration is the key. And as you know, Realty ONE Group Titans is all about collaboration. This is part of the reason why we're here today. Special guests coming because we believe it's important, because we all learn from each other. As you can see, each agent practices things differently. There's no right or wrong. There's no judgment. It's just what works for those agents because they attract different clients, right? Like it attracts like, and my client may not be the same as yours, Sabrina. So I think, I wanted you to speak to, what do you see, or what can we encourage in the way of more collaboration and shared resources? I mean, we can do it on a office basis, like as a company. But how do we do it how do we do it more in an industry situation where we have this type of collaboration? Do you have any comments about that?
Yeah, sure. So I think that agents can collaborate by sharing real-time reliable information, not just outdated information, because things do change as we go along, and also trusted contacts such as contractors, attorneys, so that our clients aren't misled during our vulnerable time. And secondly, everybody nowadays have WhatsApp, so we can continue making use of the group by sharing real-time updates on affected areas, like property accesses and market changes, especially because we all do operate from different parishes. And so we all need to understand what's going on so we can share the information to our clients. Because the other day when I went down to Treasure Beach, like St. Elizabeth, everybody was saying that it was so damaged, but when you go to Treasure Beach, it's like they remain the same. I'm like, this is Treasure Beach, it still look beautiful. So my point is, we should continue sharing updated information and not all the stuff from years ago. And also, equally important, I think we should also support each other emotionally, because once we do that, our peers, I think we can take care of our clients better, and we should be able to recover as an industry.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think when we post things on WhatsApp, I mean, when you talk about knowledge and education, I mean, education is knowledge. Like, because we all have different experiences, we educate everybody through knowledge and having these things on WhatsApp, and then maybe encouraging some other agents to join your own personal WhatsApp groups, not just the office WhatsApp, like create personal groups that where you can all, and sometimes it might not be a bad idea to look at agents that work in different markets. And then you can create a WhatsApp group for those personal contacts of agents that you work with or that you would like to work with. The reputations are good, and then start sharing information. I think everybody becomes better. That's my opinion. So thank you for that. So, Mr. Duncan.
I'm not old like her.
I'm old enough to be Amber's mother, so that has to say something. No, Amber, that's true. I am old enough to be your mother. Okay, so we picked 2 questions for Andrew to ask, and then when we're finished, we're going to open the floor up. So Andrew, how can agents become trusted voices in rebuilding efforts? Advocate for safer development, stronger building standards, and more resilient communities.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, there's someone feel like you. You want to?
I think the attention gets but
Hello?
Can somebody give the attention someone?
Yes, and then
Okay, so I mean, in the aftermath of the hurricane, so many challenges, as Cadine has pointed out. I am from the West as well. Personally, I have damages dealing with, like Cadine. We have connectivity issues down there. It's really bad. I went down to Westmoreland. There are communities that are totally wiped out. It's not an exaggeration. Prime areas in Montego Bay totally damaged. So the damage is there, but it's not, all hope is not lost, because the good thing is that all parts of Jamaica were not damaged, and some persons in Kingston, you guys got some again. When I went outside the morning after the hurricane, I would have shared a voice message in our group, and I didn't think that we would get back to this place this quickly, because I saw total devastation everywhere. Looked like a desert. Like the lush greenery that we have along the north coast, it was brown. It was literally brown like a graveyard, So in terms of us as realtors, with the rebuilding efforts, which has started already, not by just realtors, but by government, by a lot of persons contributing. Kingston people, they now use their weekends to go down Bristol and St. Louis, and St. James. So the toll road is
full.
So full on a weekend, especially on Saturday. So it's now at that stage where agents, you have to realize that it's much more than transactions right now. Cadine spoke about this relational, not transactional, which I've always shared with agents that I've mentored over the years, that stop thinking about real estate as selling products. Think about real estate as serving clients, serving people. So if we think more along that line, then we're already far along that path. So, showing up with empathy. We're dealing with family, we're dealing with loss, real-time loss. Spoke with one of my clients who has sold a property to in Whitehurst, just one that was the first I was speaking to her yesterday, and she is totally devastated. She lost her roof, but she's sharing that she's even more sympathetic towards her family who lost their entire houses. Communities are devastated. So we have to show up with empathy first and foremost. And there's a lot of uncertainty as well. So we have to we have to be balanced. That we can't get too emotionally involved in it, but we have to also share positive. The way forward. We cannot become too fixated on the loss and the negative. We have to also be grounded and with the right information that we can show them a way forward if we can give them a small step forward that we can put them along a path to moving beyond any disaster or tragedy, because this is life, it's uncertain, it's future. Bad things will happen. We cannot predict it. But as professionals, as agents, we have to now become trusted advisors, and we have to, how will we get there? We have to go for ourselves with knowledge. With what knowledge you cannot bullshit people because it will come back to you, right? You have to just be somebody who invest in your knowledge. Yes, read a lot, watch the news, read the newspapers, study the MLS. I mean, you have attorneys like Jamaica. Find out about the legal things connecting back to real estate. You have your survey of friends. Find out about how breach, encroachment, those things, how it affect them, right? You have your value of friend separate from the MLS. Find out about that. Can you share that she doesn't know much about property insurance? I did the property insurance course, I didn't sell insurance by one. So those are things that agents have to think about, things that connect to us, and that clients will rely on us, that we become so proficient at all years. We're not becoming like, I'm out of banking, so I don't get too involved with the banking part of things, but I have that knowledge that you can nudge a client, you can guide them. As Cadine said, she's not so sure about insurance, so that's a hear of what Cadine to say, alright, let me go explain it a bit more. So when clients come, I said it first. You got the mortgage, 30 million. Replacement cost was 15 million. Now that same building replacement cost is 65 million. In case of a devastation, that's a 45 million shortfall. That's a big loss for you. So with education and with those kind of things, that you take this client on and you see their total picture and you present them in the right information, that's very good for them. So educating about building standards, zoning requirements, insurance requirements, long-term implications of where you landed. I've been joking for years that Jamaicans take some of the most serious risks to where to build properties. And no, this is the reality that is here. It's something that I used to joke about, but it's no longer a joking thing, it's now a serious thing. The client's coming to you to purchase that piece of land that you know is not the right fit for them. You can be honest and share with them that in my honest opinion, based on what you're looking to do, this is not the right fit for you right now. You can be honest. You can be honest. Remember, we're not making the decision. We are advising. At the end of the day, they can override your advice until I hear you, but that's the one to do. But at least you are honest and open and you share your facts with your in terms of more resilient communities, that's a bigger thing than us realtors, but it's also something that we have to advocate for, and we're trusted voices internationally, right? So we have to ensure that we're collaborating with the developers, engineers, the insurers, the policymakers, and we speak up amongst ourselves and encourage the persons who are taking these shortcuts and not following the proper protocols to desist from that, or we will expose it. Because if we don't expose it and we allow and we sell it, by selling something you're actually encouraging it. So if you don't expose it and you sell it, which is encouraging it, then that client, when 2 months down the road, 1 year down the road, and they're facing all these difficulties, you would have deceived the client, really. So you're actually a part of the problem and not actually part of the solution. So, as Cadine said, in this period, we have to think less about selling and the numbers. We think about the long-term effects and how we are supporting our system that we start to benefit from. So if this is your career and you plan to be in the game, how many years? 40 years? Like, then we have to ensure that we're thinking so far ahead. No one spent his clients from 1997. He's still serving that. If you're thinking that far along, this is a career that you can make money until you die. Even if you're 80, 90, 100, you can still be earning as a real. So if you're thinking that far ahead, these are some of the critical things that you have to be putting in place, that you educate yourself and you're very genuine and open to the clients at this point.
So the last question we have for Andrew, I just want to make a comment. I heard this is a saying that I live by, that you can't control what happens, but you can control how you react to it. And a lot of the conversation today has been, how do we react to some of the devastation we've seen, and how do we react to our clients? Because nobody anticipated a Category 5, nobody anticipated the damage, nobody anticipated COVID. Like, you go through all these things that are life-changing, and all you can do is control how you react to it. So think about that. That saying sticks in my head every time I get my knickers in a knot. That's a new saying about stuff. I think about, okay, I could not control what happened, but I can control how I respond to this. And think about this. And this is a time when you can control how you respond. And one of the things I really want everybody to take away today before I finish it off is that we need to be optimistic for the future for our clients, because nobody is going to want to engage your services if all is doom and gloom. They have to believe that you can do the job. But if all you're doing is sitting in this quagmire of negativity, this is not going to help anybody, including your clients. So, I always say, every now and then we have to do an attitude adjustment. And this is a time where we all have to think about that, because we need to be positive for our clients. We need to point out the good things, as well as making sure they understand the risks and all the things that Pam talked about today. But we also need to point out the opportunities that are going to present themselves, and be optimistic about that. So the last question kind of relates to what I just said. Looking forward, how can this moment become a turning point? We're Jamaican agents don't just recover, right? But redefine what leadership, trust, and professional looks like in our industry. This is a pivotal moment in the world is watching Jamaica and how Jamaica responds to the situation. We had a lot of money invested in Jamaica for rebuild across the world, and I was very, very proud of everybody stepping in and doing what they had to do. But people are watching what that's going to look like in the future, and especially dysphoria. Is this the island that I want to invest in for my future? And this is a key question that a lot of people are asking themselves, and they're watching to see what that answer is going to be. And a lot of that has to do with what we can do as an industry in general, not just, people say, well, one voice doesn't matter. It's not true. One voice has started revolutions. And so it's important for us as an industry to have that voice and make sure that we're at the table, which was one of the questions, and speak as to what the industry needs to move forward. And I think that it's very important, because we have a moment now to redefine what happens in Jamaica. We have a moment to redefine our building codes. We have a moment to redefine even industry. There's so many things that can happen in a very positive way. And that only happens when we're here and we have to go there. And right now, we're starting to get up a little bit, but we have to go there. So, Andrew, what do you think that we can do looking ahead as this being a pivotal moment for real estate agents in the business?
Well, definitely, the origins of moment of definite it is. But with every disaster, with every negative situation, it's always an opportunity. So the opportunity is, this is really a turning point for us agents to understand our importance to Jamaica, to building up the country as trusted voices, not just here locally, but especially internationally. So redefining professionalism, that's the first step which means embracing accountability, continuous education. I'm very big on education. You need to know. You cannot just come and share information loosely. You need to know. So I'm very big on ethical leadership, as the word has pointed out earlier, that we are still somewhere far in terms of the ethics part, to be honest with you. And that's where, if we understand that sometimes the ethics mean you make less money now, but what you stand for, you're improving the industry. So you can last much longer. And you get and you keep much better clients. You get and you keep much better quality clients as well when you operate like that.
100% Andrew.
It also means agents have to become more aware in areas that we generally didn't become very aware in, like climate resilience, disaster preparedness, sustainable development. You know, getting that knowledge first. I don't know, maybe courses, maybe with experts in those fields. We look at all the areas of construction, of real estate, that we are not so proficient in, and we at least gather basic knowledge that we can then impart on clients, right? Leadership going forward is not just about Andrew Duncan sells the most property in Jamaica. That's not it. Really? It's not. It's about who is out there providing clarity during uncertainty. Because we're all leaders here, and clients are looking forward to the information that we are sharing with them. Because they trust us and they believe in us. We're licensed realtors with Realty ONE, with Owen Johnson, with Keller Williams, whatever it is. So we are licensed and they can verify. So they already trust us. So we have to be out here sharing that positive message. And it's about advocating for responsible growth. Responsible growth. So we're not pushing faulty products. I've spoken over the years to many agents about that. Right? The moment I'm aware that a product is faulty, I cannot sell it again. It's like it's not within me. Unless I am going to share up front with the client the faults that I am aware of. Right? And then you make the decision for yourself. But I'm not going to knowingly sell your product that I know that, you're rich my cave. Or you're going to have your plumbing, your toilets will be left within a month. I can't do it. So if we just continue along that path of providing clarity, gather the knowledge, you're very transparent, we come into very high standards. We always think about the clients we serve first, not about the commission. We think about people first, right? Then we won't just recover, we'll become stronger because the industry will become a safe haven where people don't trust the government in many cases. So politicians are thieves and liars and blah blah blah. But if our industry becomes that voice of, realtors are really trusted people, we can trust the agents at Realty ONE Group, can trust the agents at OR Johnson, can trust the agents at Keller Williams, right? Then we will become very important leaders, not just a regular person, leaders. People look at us as they can listen to us, they can take guidance from us, they can take advice from us. And even in adversity, you need to tell a person that, no, you think that purchase is risky, I don't recommend it. That's what leadership looks like. That you can stand up, take accountability, and provide guidance and clarity, even in the most difficult situation.
Thank you, Andrew. That was a very good comment. So I'm going to open up the floor for a few minutes. Does anybody have any questions for any of the panelists? Just put up your hand and speak to whoever you'd like to talk. Yeah.
Good day, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah. Okay, going forward, I'm thinking, right? As realtor, I know introducing is a word that I use all the time. It's about mindset. It's about having a positive mindset. Yes, there's a disaster. Yes, there's something happened to the country. Yes, we are resilient. So we stand up and we decide that we're going to move forward. Based on what the panelists is saying, right? I totally agree with everybody. The Johnson, longevity, stick to your client, make sure your client is there for a long period of time. Show up, make sure you're there for them, make sure they can see you. In the middle, or she's deciding that, okay, what I need to do, and explain to my clients, show empathy, right? Peter Gay is saying to us, say, hey, guess what? Be clarity, right? Clarity is the most important thing. Make sure you're actually clarifying. Andrew is saying about accountability. If we put all of this together as a force going forward, we can achieve whatever we want to achieve going forward in Realty One. And what I find about Realty One is that everybody bring their own piece to the puzzle. And with that, we can achieve anything at all. We can accomplish all we have. So going forward this year, if we put everything together, we have a blast. Thank you.
I have a question / comment. I love when we educate ourselves. We know in the WhatsApp group, I'm always throwing in the articles and the different things. It's very important. But one of the things I want us to caution us about, we will not know everything. An attorney spent 5 years at school. A valuer spent X. There's so much time, no matter how many articles we read, no matter how many conversations we have, we're not going to know everything. And it's particularly now that some of the questions that are being asked of us, they are above us. We need to understand that the information we're gathering is just sometimes basic information that we can share. What the education does for you, it allows you to spot that there could be something. You may not be able to explain everything, but you know, I think that may be an issue with so and so. Arm yourselves with a team of people that you can point your clients to for guidance. Don't think you alone have to go and explain and then come back. Ensure that we're building our teams. Ensure that we have the people we can go to get guidance for ourselves. And don't try to take on too much. It's something I always say, and I think particularly now, in this disaster that we've seen, when they're asking you, is this safe? I don't know, maybe it's the lawyer in me that I don't want to be the one to say again. And I have some clients, they want you to decide if they should buy the house. That's not my decision. I remember having a client purchasing in a property that I know would be vulnerable to storm surge. And I decided for the first time to share my personal opinion on it. Client wasn't happy to hear it. Guess what? The property is still fine today. And we're talking 10, 15 years, maybe. And that property has appreciated. So he'd be looking at me like, imagine if I did listen to her. Because I'm imposing my personal opinion. So we have to realize that, and we have to manage. Having enough information to spot when there is something, but directing persons and ensuring that the clients are making their own decisions. So you see those questions? The clients who are overseas, and ask you to go and look at the property post hurricane and tell you if it's okay. Colleagues, tread lightly. Ensure that we don't overcommit and don't overdo. Understand our role. The knowledge empowers us, but we do not know everything.